Hello little llamas and welcome back to my channel. Today's video is very exciting. I'm very excited to film it because it's something that I've had so much fun brainstorming about. So let's get straight into it. Today I am going to be breaking down the 12 signs into characters from Naruto. So we're gonna get maybe a little bit weedy here, but you know what? I don't care, this is fun. Also, a side note, I did not include Sakura in any of the signs because I'm just not her biggest fan and I think she's pretty useless. No, but seriously, yeah, I found that I could embody the signs better in other characters and she was just kind of like, meh. If you're a fan of Sakura and you really like her, I am sorry. That's why I'm wearing this pink little thing. You know, it's Sakura-ish. I don't know. Yeah, basically she's not going to be in this video. So I'm sorry, but I'm not sorry. Alright, so let's get started. Sign number 1, first sign of the zodiac, which is Aries. Now, Aries I see as Ino. So Aries, they are very athletic and sporty, and you know what? As a ninja, you've got to be really fit and athletic anyway, so tick. Aries are also very competitive. They never back down from a fight. So, you know, with the whole Ino, Sakura, Sasuke love triangle, Ino has never once kind of backed down from a fight with Sakura. And she also fights for what she believes in, which is very much an Aries trait. They will stand up for the underdog. They'll stand up for anyone who is aligned with a cause they think is important. They're not afraid to kind of stand up for the underdog either or for themselves. Aries as a fire sign is also very explosive. And if you have a look at all her fights with Sakura, she is hot-headed, she is, you know, very passionate. She's really got that fire in her. Next up, we have sign number 2, which is Taurus. And for me, Choji is a Taurus. So let's go over why. Tauruses love to eat. Hello, he's always got, you know, snacks or food. When they go out to eat yakiniku, he's like, you know, non-stop eating essentially. They're very gentle, but they will stand their ground if you really push them because after all, they are a fixed sign, which means they can be quite stubborn. They're also very, very loyal to the people they love. They do have a small inner circle, but yeah, they're very loyal to them. They also go slow. They're not ones to be speedy. That's more air signs like your not Aries, your Geminis, Libras, Aquarians. And Tauruses love to kind of value the pleasures of life. So they like to do all the yummy things. They like to eat the yummy foods. They like to be comfortable. They like the, you know, fuzzy little blankets. They also really love nature because Taurus is an earth sign. They're just very gentle earth spirits. And all of those things are Choji, right? Loves to eat, gentle but stubborn when pushed. Fun fact as well, Tauruses actually don't necessarily excel at academics, so they don't usually do the best at school. Like, they'll get there, but because they're an earth sign, they're slow, they don't necessarily excel at school. And hello, can we see who was like eating and sleeping all the time in the academy? Okay, so the third sign of the zodiac is Gemini, and for me, that is Uchiha Itachi. If his story didn't break your heart, then you are heartless. But yes, okay, Itachi. Geminis, unfortunately, like I mentioned in my previous video, are known to be a bit two-faced, and he was that quintessential Gemini, right? Like, he was this like Akatsuki criminal, but then actually he was like a spy for Konoha. So, you know, we've got that two-faced or two-identity kind of play off. Now, it's funny because Geminis are usually very chatty with their words, but at their highest evolution, they actually don't need to speak too much. So they actually know when to stop speaking, and everything they say comes from the heart. So everything they say actually has a lot of meaning. Whereas the low road is blah, 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 blah all the time, talking for the sake of talking, but their words actually don't carry much meaning. So even though Itachi doesn't really talk much, why I see him as a Gemini is because everything he does say is very poignant and does have a lot of meaning behind the words. He's also super observant, so, you know, in all of his fights and stuff, he's just like unbeatable, really. But yes, his mind is super quick. I mean, he's like a genius. Geniuses are actually very Aquarian as well, but in general, the air signs are just very quick with their minds and very quick to learn. Now, he is very, I guess you can say, like, manipulative with his words, because he's manipulated, like Sasuke, everyone into thinking he's this big criminal. That manipulation is actually very kind of Scorpio-ish, but Geminis do have a way with words as well. So I reckon he's got a bit of Scorpio in his chart somewhere, but as far as his sun sign goes, probably I'd say Gemini. Now next up, the fourth sign of the zodiac is Cancer, and that for me is Hinata. Cancers are the mothers, they're the nurturers, and like look at her the whole time, she's just this like, oh, amazing, nurturing presence. Cancers are very emotional, and for her, you know, her emotions have always guided her. Her love for Naruto. Cancers are very sensitive. They can really kind of pick up what other people are feeling. They're also very shy, and as we all know, it took her like quite a while to actually pick up the courage to speak to her true love. Fun fact for Cancers, they often have some kind of trauma that stems from childhood or family, and hello, the whole situation with Hanabi, you know, she's got family trauma to the max. With Cancers as well, if they get hurt, they can actually turn very cold. Think of a crab, right? They have a very tough exterior exoskeleton shell. Is it an exoskeleton? I actually don't know. I feel like it is. Am I just like saying shit? Anyway, they have a very hard shell on the outside, so it's like to protect their inner kind of gooiness and, you know, softness, they put on a very hard exterior, which she never had to do, but I'm just saying for Cancers in general, if you're a Cancer Sun, Moon, Rising, or if you have strong Cancer in your chart, be aware that you can turn into ice if you get hurt. Okay, next up we have sign number 5, which is Leo. This one, I actually pissed myself laughing because I actually had a bit of trouble with this one, because I was like, who's a big attention seeker, like who's a big baby? And I just remembered that one scene during the war when Kiba is like, oh, I want to become Hokage. And then gets freaking pissed because no one is paying him any attention. That is like quintessential Leo for me. So I was like, yeah, definitely has to be Kiba. You know, they want to be the center of attention and they want to get the recognition, the praise. And when they don't get it, you know, they can be a little bit pissy and a little bit unhappy. He also has a very childlike energy about him and Akamaru, I would say. And Leo is a sign of the child, right? They're the inner child. They're the ones who love to have fun, love to be curious, to go out and play, and never take things too seriously. But they are the attention seekers. And yeah, that scene just stuck with me in my mind, and now like I can't think of anyone else as a Leo except Kiba. Alright, next up we have sign number 6, which is analytical perfectionist Virgo. Hello, Shikamaru to a T. Super, super analytical. So whereas Geminis are very intelligent, they are ruled by Mercury, which is the planet that represents the mind, right? But Mercury also rules Virgo. And I think of Virgo almost like the higher embodiment of Gemini. So Gemini, you know, they are very intellectual, but they get scattered, they lose focus, they're very like jumpy here and there, squirrel syndrome. Virgos are the mind, but very kind of focused. Yeah, very focused. So they're like the higher embodiment or the higher octave of Gemini. So Shikamaru, his brain, as we all know, he is a genius. They're very systematic. They really think things through. They're also very detail oriented. So, you know, he picks up on a lot of little details and he'll use them as strategies against his enemies. Super, super observant as well, like Geminis. And they make order out of chaos. So I just remember his battle with, what's his name? It's escaped my mind now, but that Akatsuki guy who has the weird, like, ritual where he, like, you know, takes people's blood and whatever, you know, it looked like he was losing, but really, freaking genius Shikamaru was doing his own little, you know, game, and anyway, he's just genius Virgo. That's him in a nutshell. In terms of Virgo's perfectionism as well, because Virgos are known for wanting things exactly their way. I would say he's kind of low-key perfectionist because he does want things done right, or like he gets a bit pissy when things aren't done, I guess, properly. But yeah, he's not kind of outright perfectionist, I guess. Okay, sign number 7 is Libra. For me, I don't know, this one you might disagree with, but for me, I really see Kakashi as Libra because they love harmony, they don't really like upsetting people, and Kakashi is always very just kind of like, you know, he won't fight if he doesn't need to. So Libras can also be a little bit avoidant, and they're kind of just like happy to go along with what everyone else wants to do. And you know, that's like with Kakashi, right? He never really wants to get into any kind of conflict, but if he's really pushed, he will explode. And side note for Libras, because they're such yes people, sometimes they'll say yes so much that they will say yes when they really want to say no. And after a while, this kind of builds up until something makes them just explode. It can be something super small, but they're finally like fed up. They've had it up to here and they just explode. And the other person is like, whoa, where did that come from? And then what happens is Libras feel bad for exploding on the other person and they go right back into being yes people. So if you are a Libra or have strong Libra in your chart, definitely be careful of going in that cycle. So set your boundaries, build a relationship with the word no. You have to get used to saying it, even though I know it's hard as a Libra. But the good thing is they can really see multiple points of view. Like they can see where everyone is coming from, and that's why a lot of the time Libras can also be very indecisive, but with Kakashi, like he can really understand everyone's kind of point of view. Probably because he's gone through so much trauma as well, but, you know. And finally, just in general, Libras are very likable because, you know, they're willing to do what makes the other person happy. Like, they're just happy to do what you want. They're happy to eat what you want, to go where you want. So, yeah, they're just generally very likable people. Next up, sign number 8, we've got Scorpios. Now, I'm going to list off some Scorpio characteristics, and let's just see if you can guess who I chose as a Scorpio. Scorpios are intense. They hold grudges. They only care about a specific few people in their life who they really trust and who really mean something to them. They're very untrusting, like they don't trust people easily. They have some kind of childhood trauma always, and they want a lot of power. Well, hello, did someone say Sasuke? Yes, obviously I had to choose Sasuke as my Scorpio. He has this like dark aura around him that's very kind of Scorpionic. You know, Scorpios are known for being that mysterious, kind of dark, sexy kind of sign. Personally, I don't find him very sexy, but you know, a lot of people do, so. But hello, childhood trauma. Hello, doesn't really trust people easily. Hello, wanting power. Scorpios also have a very intense focus when they have a cause. So, you know, his whole thing with like Orochimaru, his whole thing with Akatsuki, etc. He is always very focused when he's doing something. Like he'll go after his goal no matter what it takes. They will also hurt others to stop themselves from getting hurt. And, you know, ever since, I mean, like, his whole family got killed, essentially, he's Yeah, just being very much distanced from other people, and he doesn't let people in easily, and he just, you know, hurts other people, whether it be through words or through fighting, whatever it is. But he does a lot of hurting to cover up the fact that he's hurting, which is like textbook Scorpio. Scorpios also have a very close relationship with death, whether it's physically, not physically, whether it's literally or metaphorically. So for Sasuke, you know, he's literally had experiences, a relationship with death, because his parents were killed. Everyone in his family was killed. So literally death. But metaphorically, Scorpios also often die in order to have a rebirth. So it's like they kill off who they are in order to become who they want to be, or someone new. So he does that quite a few times when he you know, becomes that cold Sasuke, and then when he comes back, and then, you know, he becomes this like good guy again, etc. Alright, so next, sign number 9 is Sagittarius. For me, Sagittarius is Jiraiya. Sagittarians travel everywhere. They love to travel, they love to go exploring, they love to find things, and you know, that's him. He travels everywhere. He takes Naruto with him on his travels. He also doesn't really take things seriously. I mean, like, he does, but, you know, he's able to keep things very light-hearted, and that's what Sagittarians are like. They always see the lighter side. They always are very optimistic. They're also very philosophical, actually. They're always kind of looking for the truth, for the deeper meaning behind things. And, you know, that's what he was doing on his travels. Sagittarians are very indulgent. They are very expansive in the sense that everything they do is very big, you know? You won't miss them. Their presence is huge. They're like Santa Claus. And same thing with Jiraiya. He's always very loud, you know, indulges in alcohol, indulges in some sexy women. Next up, number 10 is Capricorns, and this is Neji. So with Capricorns, a big part of their identity is accomplishment. Hello, Mr., you know, genius of the Hyuga clan. Like, Capricorns have very high standards. They can tend to look down on people who they see as, you know, not as good as them, and that was definitely what he was like, you know, before he fought Naruto and got his ass whooped. Sorry if you haven't seen it, that's a spoiler, but then again, you are on this video, so kind of your fault. Anyways, Capricorns are often old when they're young and young when they're old. So what I mean by that is, often when they're very young, they get burdened with a lot of responsibility that forces them to grow up very fast. And, you know, after his father dies, he has a really tough time with hating the head branch, really. And it's not until his whole fight with Naruto and then, you know, talk with Hinata's dad that he kind of lets go of that. So yes, he had to grow up really fast, and then afterwards, you know, he fully chilled out. Capricorns also want to accomplish things. They are here to do things. They're here to achieve the end goal. And they're such hard workers, and they put out such excellent work, I guess. They're so excellent and they excel so much that they often, like I said before, they can tend to look down on other people who don't excel as much as them. And they don't really trust anyone either. They probably trust like 1 or 2 people who are better than them or who they see as better than them. Capricorns are also not very affectionate. They're very much work-oriented. So their mindset is just work, 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 doing things, productivity, responsibility, not very Cancery, where it's like, you know, mothering and nurturing, or very Libran, where they just want to be in relationship and they want to, you know. Next up, sign number 11, second last sign of the zodiac, is Aquarius. To me, this is Naruto. So for this one, I'm going to go into a little bit more detail because there's just some nuances that I want to kind of talk through, and he is the main character of the whole show, okay? Speaking of which, I don't know if you guys have seen this meme. If I can find it, I will pop it in, but it's so funny. I pissed myself laughing when I saw it. So yes, Aquarius for me is Naruto. Aquarians don't really fit in, they don't really feel like they belong. Hello, that's all of his childhood, you know, not fitting in, very different, knows that he's different, but doesn't really know why. Aquarians also love to rebel. They say no, they go against the status quo, they have their own little way of doing things, and they really don't like to follow other people, they don't like to follow rules. You know, for them, rules are made to be broken. And you know, with Naruto painting all over the stone faces, you know, just doing random shit like he does, it's just very Aquarian, like he really does his own thing. Aquarians are also very futuristic in the sense that they really think ahead of their time. They don't really just go along with what everyone else is doing. They really try to think of how to make the world a better place. Yeah, they're futuristic, but they're also humanitarians. They really love to help people. They're also so smart, but so dumb at the same time. Like, there's a fine line between genius and insanity. And, I mean, if that doesn't describe Naruto, I don't know what does. Because Aquarians are so different, you know, people can see them as a little bit weird. They have very out-of-the-box thinking because they are an air sign, so, you know, they are very intellectual and they do think a lot, but the way they go about doing things is definitely not typical. Like, they will do it in their own very individualistic fashion. I will say the one aspect where he's not like an Aquarius is he doesn't really detach. Aquarians can have a tendency to emotionally detach, whereas Naruto, he is very emotionally involved in, you know, everything. Also, because Naruto has that depth to him and he does have that close relationship with death, with his parents being gone, I feel like he has a Scorpio moon because he does kind of feel things very intensely, which is what Scorpio moons do, and they're very emotionally attached. But in terms of his rising sign, I feel like he probably has a Sagittarius or a Leo rising. I would lean more towards Sagittarius because he is very optimistic and he is very much like Jiraiya in that kind of whatever sense, just do whatever you like, you know, nothing really matters here anyway. But his chatty side is probably Gemini because when he talks, he is kind of like all over the place. So I feel like he'd probably have a Gemini stellium or just very heavy like Gemini influence. Alright, lucky last sign number 12 is Pisces. Oh my god. Okay, so like Leo, I had so much fun with this because I had a bit of trouble, but when I thought of who I wanted Pisces to be, I laughed for like a solid 5 minutes. So for me, Pisces is that fucking swing. Yes, you know which one I'm talking about, that swing. The reason why is because Pisces, they are very non-verbal, okay? And do swings talk? No. They're also very musical. They have a very kind of melancholic aura about them. Pisces are also very generous. They're very giving. And that swing sure gave Naruto a place to sit for most of his childhood, you know? That's all I'm saying. But okay, as an actual character in the show, I'd probably say Sai is the most like a Pisces because Pisces, they are very artistic as well, and, you know, him with his drawing and everything. Pisces are also very kind of here, but not here. They're kind of one foot in this world and one foot in another world. And he's always kind of been, yeah, like here, but also not really here, you know? The only thing that I would say where he's not really like a Pisces is that he is quite emotionless, like at the start when they first meet him, right? And for a long while after that. Because Pisces are very emotional, they're very, very intuitive, very kind of mystical, but that side of him has been like trained out of his system. That's a general thing for all signs actually. How they show up for you might actually not be in a typical way because your chart shows your nature, but how you are nurtured into your chart also makes a big difference. So sometimes you actually won't resonate with a certain sign or a certain placement because that part has been, you know, suppressed through your nurturing or whatever it may be. But yeah, that's sometimes why even if you go Google, you know, your placements, you won't resonate with some of them because, yeah, like that's just a side of you that you haven't gotten to know. So that is the end of the list. We've gone from number 1, Aries, to number 12, Pisces. I hope you enjoyed this video because it was so much fun for me to brainstorm and also to film. I think I will be doing a lot more of these because I just find it so fun to actually see how the signs are embodied in different characters or in different situations. So let me know in the comments below if you thought of other characters that the signs could be embodied as, and also if you disagreed with some of the characters that I put as the signs. If you had fun watching this video, please give it a big thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe so that you don't miss out on future fun videos like this. Okay, so that's it for today and I'll see you next time.